But in the Acharit Hayamim, it will come about that the mountain of Adonai's house will be established as the most important mountain. It will be regarded more highly than the other hills, and peoples will stream there. Many Gentiles will go and say, "Come, let's go up to the mountain of Adonai, to the house of the God of Yaakov. He will teach us about his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion will go forth Torah, the word of Adonai from Jerusalem. He will judge between many peoples and arbitrate for many nations far away. Then they will hammer their swords into plow blades and their spears into pruning knives. Nations will not raise swords at each other, and they will no longer learn war. Instead, each person will sit under his vine and fig tree with no one to upset him, for the mouth of Adonai Svaot has spoken. For all the peoples will walk, each in the name of its God, but we will walk in the name of Adonai our God forever and ever. When that day comes, says Adonai, I will assemble the lame and gather those who were dispersed, along with those I afflicted. I will make the lame a remnant, those who were driven off a strong nation. Adonai will rule them on Mount Zion from that time forth and forever. You, tower of the flock, hill of the daughter of Zion, to you, your former sovereignty will return, the royal power of the daughter of Jerusalem. Why are you now crying out? Don't you have a king? Has your counselor been destroyed, that you are seized with pain like a woman in labor? Be in pain. Work to give birth like a woman in labor, daughter of Zion. For now you will go out of the city and live in the wilds till you reach Bevel. There you will be rescued. There Adonai will redeem you from the power of your enemies. Now many nations have gathered against you. They say, let her be defiled. Let's gloat over Zion. But they don't know the thoughts of Adonai. They don't understand his plan, for he has gathered them like sheaves on the threshing floor. Get up, start threshing, daughter of Zion, for I will make your horns like iron and your hoofs like bronze. You will crush many peoples and devote their plunder to Adonai, their wealth to the Lord of all the earth. Now gather yourselves in troops, you who are accustomed to being in troops. They have laid siege to us. They are striking the judge of Israel in the cheek with a stick. But you, Beit Lechem, near Ephraim, so small among the clans of Yehudah, out of you will come forth a future ruler of Israel, whose origins are far in the past, back in ancient times. Therefore he will give up Israel only until she is in labor gives birth. Then the rest of his kinsmen will return to the people of Israel. He will stand and feed his flock in the strength of Adonai, in the majesty of the name of Adonai his God. And they will stay put as he grows great to the very ends of the earth. And this will be peace. If Ashur invades our land, if he overruns our fortresses, we will raise 7 shepherds against him, 8 leaders of men. They will shepherd the land of Ashur with the sword, the land of Nimrod at its gates. And he will rescue us from Ashur when he invades our lands, when he overruns our borders. Then the remnant of Yaakov, surrounded by many peoples, will be like dew from Adonai, like showers on the grass, which doesn't wait for a man or expecting anything from mortals. The remnant of Yaakov among the nations, surrounded by many peoples, will be like a lion among the forest animals, like a young lion among the flocks of sheep. If it passes through, tramples, and tears to pieces, there is no one to rescue them. Your hand will be raised over your enemies. All of your adversaries will be destroyed. When that day comes, says Adonai, I will cut off your horses from among you and destroy your chariots. I will cut off the cities of your land and lay waste your strongholds. I will cut off sorceries from your land. You will no longer have soothsayers. I will cut off the carved images and standing stones from among you. No longer will you worship what your own hands have made. I will pull up your sacred poles from among you and destroy your enemies. I will wreak vengeance and anger and fury on the nations because they would not listen. So listen now to what Adonai says. Stand up and state your case to the mountains. Let the hills hear what you have to say. Listen, mountains, to Adonai's case. Also, your enduring rocks that support the earth. Adonai has a case against his people. He wants to argue it out with Israel. My people, what have you done? What have I done to you? How have I wearied you? Answer me. I brought you up from the land of Egypt. I redeemed you from a life of slavery. I sent Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam to lead you. My people just remembered what Balak, the king of Moab, had planned. What Balaam, the son of Beor, answered him. What happened between Shittim and Gilgal, so that you will understand the saving deeds of Adonai? With what can I come before Adonai to bow down before God on high? Should I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves in the first year? Would Adonai take delight in thousands of rams, with 10,000s of rivers of olive oil? Could I give my firstborn to pay for my crimes, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? Human being, you have already been told what is good, what Adonai demands of you, no more than to act justly, love grace, and walk in purity with your God. The voice of Adonai, he calls to the city, and it is wisdom to fear your name. Listen to the rod and to him who commissioned it. Are there still ill-gotten gains in the house of the wicked, still the detestable short ephah measure? Should I declare innocent wicked scales, and a bag of fraudulent weights? The rich men there are full of violence. The inhabitants tell lies with tongues of deceit in their mouths. Therefore, I am starting to strike you down to destroy you because of your sins. You will eat but not be satisfied, with hunger gnawing inside of you. You will conceive but not give birth. If you do give birth, I will give him to the sword. You will sow, but you will not reap. You will press olives, but not rub yourself with oil. Likewise, you will press grapes, but not drink the wine. For you keep the regulations of Omri, and all the practices of the house of Ahab, modeling yourself in their advice. Therefore, I will make you an object of horror. The inhabitants of the city will cause for contempt. You will suffer the insults aimed at my people.